My name is Andy Wrintmore. My full name is Andrew Paul Wrintmore. My age, I'm 28, I'm 29 next month. My title is Mayor of Frome. I'm still getting used to this, but I like it. So it started out as a joke. I was working in the local shop. I felt like I knew everyone because it's a kind of a small town. I was joking like to people like, oh well, I'm like the Mayor of Frome. I can just sort of connect people and everything, and I felt kind of like everyone that come in, I knew them, we were having a laugh, and so I just started joking about like I'm like the Mayor of Co-op or the Mayor of Frome or whatever, And I wasn't even going that hard on it. It was just a little running joke. And then the mayor came in and said, "Hi Andy," and I didn't know he was the mayor. Like I knew him, but I didn't know he was the mayor. This is how ignorant I was because I'd spent all my life playing in bands and trying to do something completely different to what I'm doing now. So local politics and stuff, I wasn't even paying attention because I was hardly here. I was like gigging elsewhere or touring or whatever. So I didn't really feel deeply sort of connected in the town's politics, let's say. I was just sort of more on the social side of stuff. And he came in and he said, "Hey Andy." I was like, "Oh, hey Rich, what's up?" And he was like, "I hear you want to be the mayor." And I was like, "Yeah, I'm thinking about it." And he was like, "Well, I think you could do it." And I was like, because at this point I knew he was the mayor, but I didn't for the longest time serving him in the shop and having a laugh with him. I had no idea who he was or what he did. And then other councillors from the council would come in, and I'd realised I'd been joking with them as well. So it kind of could have looked like I was just putting the feelers out myself, but I was so ignorant, I had no idea. So I have sort of phases of things, and the constant obsession is collecting music. So I've got a pretty good vinyl collection. I mainly bought vinyl when it wasn't like cool anymore, and you could get it cheap. So I got about 2,000 CDs. It's pretty ridiculous, and then I know that it's a dead format really, and it's dying. And in 5 years, it's going to be like, "Have you never heard of Spotify, dude?" And I'm like, "I've got Spotify, but I just like to own the thing, right?" So yeah, vinyl is great. I own it. I love it. But unless you're playing it for a decent system, it's not the superior format that everyone says it is. So yeah, I collect music. I spend quite a bit of money on music. What are my other interests? I drum. I'm a drummer in a hardcore punk band called SickOnes. We've done some cool things. We've toured the UK a few times. We toured with Dead Kennedys, which was really cool. They were like a hero band, I'd say, of mine when I was growing up. So it was kind of like a really cool, like full circle moment. I was like sound checking in like an O2 Academy, and behind me was the backdrop with the logo of the Dead Kennedys on, which I've had on t-shirts and patches and God knows what since I was like 13, 14. And it was like a bit of a moment of like, oh, here we are. Did some UK stuff with Cancer Bats as well. That was really cool. We've went out and done Europe a couple times. We did the East Coast of America a couple years back with Dive Bomb. That was really cool. That was really eye-opening actually. And I hadn't really been anywhere in the world before I started in bands. I'd been to France on a school trip, but I hadn't really gone anywhere. So drumming has opened the world up to me basically, and taken me all these places, for better or worse. You know what I mean? Like some places you get to and you're like, I would not want to live here. But that's why punk rock is strong in some of these places, because if you live in a really awful place and there's not many opportunities and it's kind of a bit sort of downtrodden, let's say, what do you do to exercise that energy and that negativity? You go to the punk rock show and you listen to sort of angry music, and it's like therapeutic, and you get it out in like a healthy way. Okay, you're right. So this is a question that I think I've been prepared for it, because every new mayor gets this when people go, That's great, congratulations. But what are you going to do? And I get that. You want your public figures and you want your mayors and everything to have the right motivations and have the right ideas for your town and everything. And the plan is, this year the town is opening up, so it's like I said, it's post-pandemic. There's a lot of, I guess there's going to be lots of residual lockdown, like I use this metaphorically, like scars, let's say. And so I think my mission as mayor for this year is not to come in and say, I'm going to do this and I'm going to do that and we're going to change and all this stuff that, you know, people generally like espouse when they get a role. And I always look at that sort of stuff anyway and think, yeah, but are you? Do you know what I mean? I always look at that a little bit like, yeah, you're just like, it's just hot air though, isn't it? My commitment to the town in this coming year, I want to visit all the community groups because they are the backbone of this town. They are what keeps everyone tightly knit. They give people lots of purpose, they give people missions, they do lots of good for all the community. I want to talk about them, write about them, post about them on social media, listen to what they have to say, what they want to see in the town. And I think the ideas will come from there. So basically this should be a year of sort of healing for the town. So my commitment to the town is to be consistent, to be dedicated, to show some leadership where it's needed, and just championing the town in every way that I can so that we can get back to some normality. We've just spent 20 minutes talking about that question, haven't we? I don't really know how to answer it. It's such a broad question. Frome, I like to think that Frome is accepting of all people, of all backgrounds, of all the whole board of people. I like to think that we're a place that's accepting, welcoming, warm, progressive. Of course, every town has its faults. Not every town is perfect. There is always going to be work to do. But I feel incredibly lucky to have lived here because Frome has presented all the opportunities that I've wanted in my life. So everything I've ever done that I feel proud of and find fulfillment in or gratification in has launched out of Frome and has launched out of the people I've met here or the opportunities that are given to me here. And really there's so much here, there's so many community groups, there's so much work with art, within the arts. There's so much here that you can create a life with, and it really is for a fairly small town which is growing fast, and it's always at the top of like the newspapers, you know, the national newspapers like greatest places to live and stuff like that. It's there for a reason because we've got an independent town council. The staff here are some of the best in the country at what they do. They're dedicated, they're ambitious, they're driven and they're motivated, and I think they feel very lucky to be working in Frome and within this structure here that we've got because it allows them to be so much more than they would be in other towns. So I really feel like Frome has everything going for it. It's on the up, it continues to be on the up. Yeah, come visit, come have a look around. You're gonna love it. You're going to love it, enjoy it, and then you'll want to move here probably because it's sick. And I'm the mayor. Did I do that? I just did that, didn't I?
I'm keeping that one in.